business has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's boys night out. And don't you know we're gonna scream and shout, oh no.
Welcome to the club. I'm your host, Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we review the Crew's 4-0. Hold on a second. I'm being told, yep, they just scored again. 4-0 win against RSL, a club whose 17-year-old keeper was the guest of honor at this match's youth soccer night. We look ahead to our second match this season against the Wayne Rooney's DC United, this time at Audi Field. We'll cover a few other Crew and MLS happenings over the last week, and finally we'll enter the match prediction vortex, where we will review and provide every result that will never come to pass.
Nope.
If you're new to the club, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Upper 90 Club Pod, and you can watch full episodes and clips on YouTube at
Could
Upper
be a
90
typo.
Club. It was. Oh yeah, and like, subscribe, rate, review, applaud, proclaim.
Yeah,
Do
what
it
are you
all.
guys doing? Stop
Banter.
what you're doing and do the things he's
Yeah.
saying.
If you're new to the club, follow us on Instagram. Didn't I just say that? You
Yeah.
can all, yeah, man. Just murder
Do it
me.
twice.
Should I just start over?
No.
Start over. Okay.
Just
Get
keep
a
going.
second account.
All right.
Follow us on
Roll
both.
with it.
Yeah, okay. You can also send questions and comments to podcast at upper90club.com. With me in the club are Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say hi, guys.
We're all together again.
Hey.
Yes, welcome back, Ben.
I mean,
wanna,
I was
like-
there last time.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
In
Our
spirit.
hearts.
Kind
Yep.
of. Do you want to like circle back on that and relive and
No,
explain
can
it
we
all?
talk
or
about
just-
the-
Can we not?
Let's
Just
not
move
talk
on.
about it.
I want to move on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
well,
did a great
so
job.
I see here, someone told me recently that there were 19,624 people at the game. But only one of us was. So
Okay.
I was advised
welcome.
not to mention that, but I guess we're going to have to do some explaining. I have a good excuse, which is my physical location hundreds of miles away. But Ben, what were you doing?
I think I was still in Hawking. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, so we said we weren't going to talk about that anymore. So
No.
Mort, what were you doing? You still have family in town?
Yeah, family time. I had two sets of grandparents at my house.
Oh.
So I decided not to take
Whose
8
was
people. The neighbors.
Just random
and-
grandparents?
that
Yeah.
was my monthly grandparents.
So,
It's such a
so
weird euchre night.
I just want to know what you have against youth soccer night.
It's opposite day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was
Trey,
April
what about
Fools.
you? What about you, man?
I was watching it at home. We were trying not to get, the wife is due in
Oh
3 or 4
right.
days, and
Right.
40 degrees, high winds, 2 toddlers, and a pregnant wife.
Yeah, you don't
Blow
want to
that
do
baby
So,
out.
you
Hey,
don't
do
wanna
you have
do
a
that.
family room?
That's right,
Yes,
we talked-
they
yeah.
do.
We
Yeah,
talked about that.
We enjoyed the show on Apple. It was the first home game we'd seen on Apple. So,
Nice. Pause. You were there.
I was there.
Please report.
Didn't look like 19,000 people, but again, the weather, second game in a row with over 25-mile-an-hour winds pretty consistently. So, and some rain here and there before
how
the
mu-
match.
How many people do you think were there?
I'll call it 15,000.
It
Oh,
looked
okay.
like it was well attended, all things considered. I expected it to
Yeah.
be like nobody.
And
And on TV it looked-
WrestleMania.
Yeah, I
WrestleMania
mean-
was on.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, no, but we were
There
talking
was
about
a Blue
it. We were
Jackets
talking about-
game that
there-
night.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
it was
there-
Jackets game.
and there was like bad weather and spring break and everything else, so we were thinking it was not going to be well attended. But
You know, some
um,
people would rather go watch the Blue Jackets lose 7-0 than
Yeah.
show up to a Crew game.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Well, so yeah, okay. So let's move into the game. We'll start with the lineups, but we can go from there. Haas, what did we see in the lineups there?
We had Ramirez up top. We were kind of, at least personally, I was questioning whether Jason Russell Rowe would start or not, considering the nice game he had last week. So Ramirez up top, Zelrayan Matan behind him, Sands, Morris, Nagby, Farsi. Then in the back, we had Morera, Deganek, and Vallecia, and Schulte in goal. So I think the other kind of ones we weren't certain about, Vallecia starting over Philip Quinton, and whether or not Room would be back in time. I mean, I think we knew on Saturday that he wouldn't be there for the game, but all week long, just kind of leading up to it, not sure how the international players would fill back in or not.
I didn't catch that. I thought he was back. Did
He wasn't
anybody
even
go
on
to
the
buy his
bench.
house? Yeah, I know.
I didn't check.
I know. Well, he had a big day. He got that Messi jersey, which is
Earned it.
pretty cool. Yeah. Is that like? Yeah, I
What's an
kept saying
agreement?
that. Like, yeah, he's part of history, and I'm like, yeah. But
What was the history?
It was the 100th
Messi's
goal
No,
from
300.
Messi.
Was it 300 or
I don't
something?
know.
wasn't it?
I meant
Was it-
100,000 goals from Messi.
100th goal in that
What-
game.
That's
Yeah.
not the 100 goal for Argentina.
I heard on the broadcast they were claiming that he got it for Zelarayan.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I thought. I mean,
Oh,
big if true. You know what I mean?
big if true.
I wouldn't give a Messi jersey.
It's
to anybody.
Messi's jersey is pretty likely not big.
Right.
Probably pretty small.
Right.
More
Yeah,
like
but-
a youth size.
yeah, more like yeah. You stole it from me.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
was there? Okay. So speaking of the big man, Quinton, where was he? Did we get a report on that? I mean, I see he was in attendance, but we just got done talking about how well he did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think-
mean, he was a lot of the stuff there.
Haas was
They're
ready to
coming
put
out
him
with-
in center mid. He was like
Yeah.
right in the middle, man. Give him a promotion.
Yeah, I think what they were saying, Nancy really rates
Paisia.
Vallecia. Like he really likes him, and he played well. He played
he
really
was very good, actually.
well. Yeah,
I think we talked about it 2 weeks ago, where we were saying that center defensive position isn't, or no, out wide isn't where he belongs. And
Yeah.
I think when you had Deganek back and Morera and Valencia, that completed it a lot better. It just seems to click better.
So if
Yeah.
you think you had the same game and Dagnek was not available, he would start in
Yeah.
the center and we still have Vaisia.
Yeah.
Vaisia, yeah,
Yeah.
on the left.
yeah.
I think it was a
You're probably
rotation
right.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
and,
and I
we
heard-
can't complain about it.
I know
Yeah,
that
not at all.
that three of you guys were watching the broadcast too. There was some commentary about just rewarding those guys who were dunking on Atlanta, and just kind of surprised to see them shift right back to baseline. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when we talked to Hattie, he said that Anansi had a tendency to like switch stuff up all the time, and everybody was kind of frustrated about that.
Yeah, this is Hattie Raphael from the Montreal Impact podcast. The ball is round.
Ooh, Montreal Club de Foot.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm sticking with Impact. So yeah, I was expecting him to kind of see some of the newer guys, but I mean, hindsight's 2020. I mean, the lineup was solid. That's a good lineup.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I agree. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's kind of move into gameplay. What did you think of the team? Yeah. Were there folks that stood out? You mentioned Vicey already. Who else stood out to you, Ben?
Off the jump, for the first part of the game, I mean, Morris scores. We can get rid of that 13 minutes in.
Yeah.
That guy, I mean, let's just enjoy Aiden Morris while we have him, because he is gone. That guy is on a different level right now. And it's amazing to see. I mean, a lot of these guys are taking a bigger step forward, but like he's just on a different level. So I thought he played awesome. I thought Zell was, crazy. So when I was looking back at some of the first half, I actually thought Matan really early on got like bodied off a ball. I don't know if anybody saw that. He got like knocked down, and he didn't whine. For a second, he was like got angry.
Did he
got
get back up?
Yeah, he got right back up, and then like threw a shoulder into that guy. And then it was like,
not going to keep him down.
No, you can't keep him down. Ain't nobody gonna keep him down. So I actually, for being the least rated person on the starting lineup, I actually thought it was a good step forward for Matan as far as getting, because my one issue with Matan is his physicality. And it just seemed like he did a very good job of like getting into the game, putting a body on some of these guys, because he's a tiny dude, and just playing with like balls.
And interestingly to that is the fact that I was surprised looking at the stats that he was by far the lowest rated player. And I would say this year he's been our most consistent player. And I still think he was good in this game too. It might be in some giveaways and things, but his movements, his willingness to be involved, is always great.
Yeah, I mean, he was rated a 6.8. It wasn't bad.
No.
It just happened that he was the only one rated below a 7, but Ramirez was a 7. I also want to shout out Ramirez. He was a hustle bot the entire game, and that's one thing that I was really worried about in the first game.
Just pause there.
Yeah, let's name the whole lineup.
Let's define hustle bot. Can we define hustle bot?
Hustle bot?
Mm-hmm. That one's new to me.
Well, what you expect from a number 9 is to, whenever they get the ball in the back line and try to progress the ball forward, he was constantly running at the ball and making sure that the people are feeding it down one side or the other. That's the whole point of that number 9. So he basically will have them go left or go right, depending on how we're set up. He did not do that the first game. He did it a lot this game, and he didn't tire, which was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think you had quite a few players on this lineup that stepped in and played really well. I mean, I shouldn't say stepped in, like just stepped up and played really well. Sands, once again, I thought was a bright spot on this team.
Talk about Hustlebot.
Yep. That's who I thought Ben was going to bring up right there. I mean, go all the way across that midfield. I mean, Nagby played well. Morris played exceptional. Farsi played well. Zell around up top. So, I mean, we all know that Real Salt Lake hasn't been phenomenal this year. That's even an overstatement. But do what you got to do. Go out there and get 4 goals. This wasn't a 1-0 win hanging on in the 89th minute.
Right.
This was a dominating victory that should have been 3-0. Really.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, it should.
I agree. And we'll talk about that later. I have some thoughts on that. Okay, so Ben, you mentioned the Morris goal. Haas, let's jump into that, and then we can kind of just go through the rest of the goals after that in the 14th minute.
Yep. 14th minute, after a pretty solid spell of possession, Moreira plays a ball into Zelarayan, who's making a little run into the box. He taps it with the back heel, first touch, into the path of Aiden Morris, and he takes a first-time rip low and hard into the far side netting.
Oh, it's awesome.
Wow.
Hold on now. Was it a back heel or did he like stop it and flick it back with his cleats?
I thought it was a back heel.
I thought it was a back heel.
I don't
One of
think it
those
was. I think
planted
you're
foot.
right.
Was it
What,
like a
bottom of the foot?
Bottom
Yeah,
of the foot.
that's what I saw.
Or
It
even
could've-
like side of the foot.
It doesn't matter, really,
Correct.
but it was awesome.
Well, I mean, a back heel, you kind of hit harder. I mean, it was, because I kept watching it, it was like the side bottom of his foot. It was exactly what he wanted to do. It was class. Like, it was
Yeah.
class.
And Mars, I just want to say, just like your words, you're an artist, and your words is your brush.
Uh-huh.
Celerayan is also an artist, and his legs is his brush.
Yeah,
and that was the
brush
piece of
legs.
art. And I want to mention from that is, yeah, you see that detail, right? The beautiful touch. He started that play on the very left. He's the
Yeah.
one that lays off before we get the switch nearly across. He runs all the way from the very left, all the way across the field to be available, receives the ball on other side of the penalty spots, and that's where he lays it off.
Yeah.
So it's not just that detail. He makes that long run to be involved and then get into the play, and that's a beauty.
Yeah, I think they called him a hustle bot.
All right.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
All right.
Are we not saying
That's
that
it.
anymore?
It's the
That's
warning.
it. That's it. You're warned.
It's like that.
Okay. I'm not getting out the cards because they're not handy, but don't make me find them. That's
You knew I was going to be on this.
all right. Okay. All right. Yes. Beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. All right. What's next? We had a PK in the 41st, right?
Yeah, and I'd mentioned 19th minute break for Ramadan.
Yeah.
For a few players to break their
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
I
That
didn't
was-
understand what was happening at
Yeah.
the game. Like, had no idea what was going on.
Do we need
I
to
couldn't
explain
tell if someone
Ramadan?
got hurt or
Nope.
what. They also had the upper pavilion deck or whatever it is up there, Top Golf deck, available for people practicing Ramadan
Wow.
as a prayer space.
Good.
Nice.
Well, I missed that minute. I kind of like stepped out for a minute. I came back and Lauren didn't know. She's like, they got a bunch of guys like eating these little Happy Meals really fast. Like, I don't know what's going on. Is that what happened? I never even saw it, but
Yep.
Is that
It was
new?
quick.
Is that new? Is it new to MLS? Like I don't remember hearing
Yeah.
anything about that. But
Ben had a good point in the U.S. game.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did a bunch of research because I actually asked the Discord deck. I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure they do this in the EPL. And everybody was like, no, they don't. In fact, they actively don't do it. And I'm like, that's not true at all. So I looked into it, and the MLS started doing it this year for the
Okay.
first time. The French first of all, FIFA came out and said, absolutely not. We're not doing it. And I was like, well, that's terrible. And
Sounds
then
like
the
FIFA.
French came out and said, absolutely not in our league. Like, we are not stopping the game. I was like, what is going on? And then it was May 3rd. What is today? March 3rd.
Yeah.
What month
Yeah.
are we in? It was like last week. The EPL came out and said, we are actually going to adopt that minute like off. So like the EPL does it, we do it, and nowhere else in the world. I'm sure the African nations and stuff, but yeah, Trey, go ahead.
I want to highlight the fact that a lot of in England is day games that wouldn't affect it anyway, so it wouldn't be possible to break it.
Right.
In
Right.
MLS, we have consistently all the games at nighttime, so everybody will be kind of treated in the same situation. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben had a good point. The same kind of thing happened in the U.S. game where Matt Turner went down for
Yeah.
a odd
Random
injury at a
injury.
very good time that to observe Ramadan.
Huh.
Yeah, so
Um,
Musa could come over.
Yep.
Musa could come over. It's good. I mean, there should be absolutely no issue with this whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
new
there's
to
no
me,
reason
and,
not to.
Yeah. I was surprised, but yeah, good on him. Okay, so what were we talking about? PK in the 41st minute. What led up to that, Haas?
Yeah, so Sands has a throw in from the left side of the field, and Ramirez makes a run in behind the defense. Throws it to Ramirez. He's basically at the end line. He tries to play it back first touch and hits it right to a Salt Lake player who tries to play it to the other Salt Lake player next to him and misses him.
Soccer's
Sands
hard.
Sands is back in the spot at the right time to take it away from him. Quick first touch pass to Zelarayan in the box, and he tries to turn on the guy and gets taken down.
Yeah, it was
It was a foul.
so it was a foul.
Yeah.
It was clumsy. It was just one of those clumsy ones. He's turning away from the goal. Yeah, and there was a little bit of panic mode there too. There was like a few minutes of just sustained pressure from the crew that we were in the box a lot around that time, and sooner or later this will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the penalty. What do you guys think of that?
Zelarayan-
Yeah, he totally iced him, right? He like looked up, stared him
Stutter
down
step.
mid step, and put it in the
Yeah.
right side, right?
I am just not a fan of anybody who starts running and then does like a little
Stutter?
stutter step or
That
whatever.
was
He did a
my
stutter.
move.
You
I
had
always
that back
stuttered.
then. I don't
You
remember
invented
that
it.
happening when I was growing up.
Oh, I did that in college.
Did you?
Yes.
I
Back
don't
in time.
something.
Come on, Ben. Come on, Ben. Say it. Back in my day.
Well, yeah, we didn't even have cleats. We played with our shoes off. But I do want to point
I
out
would
if
remind
you,
everybody that I'm older than everybody
yeah,
here. but,
barely.
The actual shot, though, not impressive, if you ask me. I mean, if the
It was-
keeper guesses right, that's an easy save.
Yeah, the
yeah,
keeper
but he's
just
in the corner.
fell
He's in
down.
the corner.
He fell straight down. I watched it again. I'm like, man, because I was actually a small part of me was rooting for Beavers because of his last name, yes, but also because he was 17 and starting a game, and that's like, I just kind of felt for him, and like that penalty, he literally just falls straight forward. He just is like, oh god, and just
and
like eats it.
what was the story there? Why was he starting?
Why was he starting? I thought it was just a bad run of form for RSL, so they were shaking things up.
Okay.
I think Zach McMath is their typical starter.
Okay.
I
goal.
heard something about his parents calling the RSL brass and complaining until he got more playing time.
Yeah.
Well played. Well
They
played.
had some
Well done.
they had some
Yeah.
some juicy story on Mastroeni.
Finn said that was a cheeky penalty.
He said cheeky.
He said cheeky penalty.
Your
He wanted
son.
to do
And
it,
then,
yeah.
and then both the grandparents said, "You say that in soccer?" And they said, "Yes, we do." in this house."
We're disappointed. Who
I
are
saw
you
someone
raising,
today with
Borton?
the license plate of Cheeky.
Ugh.
All right.
see.
Well, what else
Okay, never
happened in
mind.
the game? So that was around halftime.
Anywho, I do want to point out
Hold
that
on.
right.
No, I mean,
Nope.
if had I at the top of the show said that we were going to talk about vanity plates we saw recently, we could take a break here and just kind of run down. You know,
Yeah,
I saw
this is our Ramadan is when Haas talks about vanity plates.
yeah, Ramadan that could fit on a plate. Okay. So halftime, were there subs at the half?
For RSL, yes.
Okay.
They brought on Anderson Julio and Diego Luna. I think
Which-
they were like for like subs. They brought Miram off
He was
on the
getting
wing.
destroyed.
What was the deal with Miram?
He was a step slow and kept fouling. I mean, that's what it was. That's what
Yeah.
I saw.
I would say one thing though. He had a no look pass.
I wanted to talk
That
about this.
was a
and
great
where
pass.
Schultze does a save that is great.
Yep.
He goes down and go to his left. Was it?
Yeah.
And that pass first is nice. The cut in is nice. Everything about that sequence was nice. and
Should have
I
been a
love
goal.
it when it ends with
Yeah.
a save, which is great.
Which is awesome because that's one thing that I have not seen from Schulte at all when he's played, because he's played 2 games for us and it was like a 4-1 loss and then it was like a 1-shot, 1-goal game.
Oh, you
It's
mean
like-
he didn't save any?
Yeah, he hasn't had a save. And he made that save and I was like, that
Yeah.
was an awesome save.
Yeah, it was
That was a good
And we can talk
save.
about it
He played
second
well.
half. He has another one. Yeah, he did. I thought he did very well.
So subs. What else we got?
That was it at half.
Okay.
All right, so no other subs at the half. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll jump into the second half. And we're back. Let's start with the 53rd minute goal by Aid Morris. Haas, talk us through it.
So this is another one that built up from a throw in from the left side again by Sands. He threw it into Nagby. Kind of do a little back and forth. Sands makes a few moves on a guy, then lays it back off to Nagby, who's cutting into the box at that point. He does a little 1-2 with Zelarayan.
Yeah, that's good. Again,
Zelarayan was being a fancy boy all game. I think he had like at least 6 or 7 of those quick little fancy touches.
they're like, you're going to get a Messi jersey. And he's like, today's my day.
So, yeah, quick 1-2 with Zelarayan, gives it back to Nagby. He shoots near post. The keeper should have, I mean, he did save it. He didn't hold on to it. And then the ball's kind of bouncing between the keeper and 2 defenders, and Aiden somehow gets between all 3 of them and
He
taps
just jumps over the goalie, I think, doesn't he? And
He just is like, yeah, it's mine. That's like the only thing I thought, because I watched it again and I kept watching and I'm like, how does he get this? And it just kind of seems like they were kind of like, I mean, I guess it was kind of weird because the 2 defenders they were facing the goal. So if they were to kick it anywhere, it was going in the goal. Like they were probably like a little confused on like, how do I clear this? And Aiden Morris was like, don't mind me, and literally just bodies them both off like a bowling ball and just like kicks it in.
How was he there? Right? Like
you could see him making the run. Yeah. He was like trying to leave the option open for Nagby, and the ball just popped out.
These deep runs by him, they're critical. I mean, and he has so much energy, and it's unbelievable.
It's what McKinney did a bunch of Juventus. Like he would always be late arriving in the box. So if there was any hold up play, he would arrive late, and it was the goal of the strikers to move and create space at the top of the 18. And then he just arrives at that time. But this one was like Nagby was all the way forward, and then I don't know. I think they smelled blood in the water. And they were just like, here we go.
You know, I'm going to change the subject slightly. Just the way that you said "goal of the strikers" made me remember that
it took me a second.
Aiden was a boy of the day. What
the youth of the
youth of the match day. He was.
They announced the youth match day?
No. He was a what do they call it? Like a team of the match day or something? The team day of the match.
Did anybody else know they had a coach of the match day?
Team of the match day.
So Nancy, Morris, and Lucas, Fancy Boy, they were all team of the match day on that match day.
My question with that is, so it's team of the match day. So if you play the day before, the day after, are you not eligible for is it that 24-hour span?
No, it's match day. Match day equals that
round.
Match day 13.
Yes.
Like it's like week 13, but soccer terms been.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
So it's like, it's you have to. It's like a proper noun.
Why would you just say week 13?
It's like fixtures.
It's a royal day. It's a royal day. And even though it
what if you have
encompasses
a
many
bye?
days.
So it's a fiscal day for the
play for
MLS,
Chicago?
which is 72 hours. Got it. Of course.
So yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's a fiscal day.
It's a fiscal day for
Yeah.
the MLS.
Yeah. Where
Chicago played one less game, so I don't know how that works.
A lot of the Western conferences had a bye already. But
Thank you,
not that
Settlers.
Chicago's in the Western Conference. I'm just saying you've seen more of it in the Western Conference.
and so congratulations to all of them for being on the team of the match day. My question about this topic, and then we can get back to the game, is
please.
Did you guys notice that there were players on the bench on the team of the match day? And what does that mean?
They did pretty good. That's it.
Like,
were they pretty good?
Were they good in the game, but not good enough to staff for the team of the match, or were they just really good on the bench, better than all of the other players on the bench?
I think they
they're
still
on
get
the
a
bench of the match
participation
day.
trophy or something. Like,
Okay.
do they get stickers? What do they get for being on? Yeah, I don't.
They
Did you
get
put that in your
this
resume?
conversation. They get this conversation.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Whatever.
Okay.
9 players.
Good.
9 players on the bench of the match day.
Wow.
Let's
Let's make everybody happy. But hey, back to the game.
Yes, please.
We just started again with just momentum. And
Yeah.
we started, and it started hard. Damn it. But and we probably should have had another goal around like the 60th minute or so too.
Yeah.
And I have never
is
been
that Farsi's?
I have never been cheering harder for getting a 4th goal ever, by the way,
Oh,
in my life.
Same here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
No reason why.
We didn't want you guys to win with. We didn't want the people that predicted 3-0 to get extra points.
We'll talk
in
about that
our
later. We'll
standings.
talk about that later.
Yes.
Yeah, we even had a
Yes.
tweet, and somebody had 3-0, and I was like, oh, he's gonna be so bummed.
Yes.
2 of us did.
And so, do we want to talk about minutes, 54 through 92? What else? I mean,
I had an observation while rewatching the match, and that is just that it's crazy that I'm so used to the Caleb Porter playing style, where you get up a goal or 2 goals and you just sit back, and they are not sitting back.
don't forget
all.
about squandering it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lest we
But like
forget.
up until the 80th minute, I didn't catch anyone like
Back
Game
it up.
management, essentially.
letting off the gas. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Trey had talked about this before, but it's the whole, instead of just absorbing the pressure and trying to, just sit there and get shelled the entire time, it's like you take away time by possessing the ball. So that's the difference is like, hey, if we possess the ball, then they can't score. It's simple as that. So like we just continued to have the ball and they couldn't do anything about it. Before we move too far forward, I do want to shout out Diego Luna. If you guys remember way back in the pod that we were thinking like, who could we possibly get? And I said, hey, we should get Diego Luna. And you guys were like, you're an idiot, because no one knew who he was. He came on and played awesome. He is a very good outside winger back. I don't know if you guys paid attention. Probably not, because I'm the only person that paid. Okay. I thought he
You just
played.
paid
I thought he
attention
played
so
really
you
well.
could make this point.
Absolutely.
Points, yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Anywho,
He didn't get rated very well. You got to.
you didn't get rated very well. Think about that.
He went to the game. So
I thought he did play well coming in. He provided a little bit of spark for a team that
Was
had
dead.
nothing else going for him.
Yeah.
And
That was it. I mean,
other things of note in the midsection of the second half, lots of substitutions, right? Zawadzki for Nagby in the 74th, JRR, Jason Russell Rowe for Christian Ramirez in the 74th, Yao Yaboa for Zelarayan in the 74th. Looks like RSL made a sub. Midfielder came in for a striker in the 75th, question mark. And then we did Arston for Matan, the 83rd. Did Madronic came in for Sands in the 83rd. So all of this is to say that we did score again. The team answered your wishes, and despite our best efforts,
some of ours.
Yeah, I
Some of our
Ouija boarded
wishes.
that in.
well, I was going to say, despite our best efforts, we still no one has gotten the score right.
We are
But
so
you're
bad.
pretty
it's a
good this
good
one.
problem to have. Yaboa scores in 90 plus 3.
Okay, a couple of points there was that Russell Rowe surprises me sometimes with his technique and his view and some of the passes he makes. And also in this game, how he muscled off some guys.
Yeah.
He's a
He
strong...
made that play happen at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a strong guy. He's a pretty smart player. And then in terms of the goal, Finn kind of said that Yaboa kind of lucky and just stole that goal at the very end.
Your son.
Arfston didn't have the right angle on it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there was
He would have missed it or
So there was a debate in the Discord, and everyone was like, well, he probably would have scored that. Max would have totally had it. And I watched it again. I was like, no, he would not have had it.
No,
he could
he
have
wouldn't.
possibly turned, but he did not have it. Although fair play to him, that touch he had to get around the touch from Jason Russell Rowe that was put into the path of Yao was awesome. I mean, Jason Russell Rowe and Max are so good, and they play so different than I've seen anybody else play. Like, I can't,
Yeah, Max played really well.
Yeah, he did.
Coming in.
He's good. He has like it seems like he already has confidence. And another thing that was surprising to me that when they said it was that was Yao's first goal for the Crew. He hasn't scored yet, which puts another person in the past like 3 games who've scored their first goal for the Crew. So the confidence across the board is just like insane. Like I don't think any team is like this. It's like, hey, we got a bunch of new players and everybody gets to score in 2 games that they play. It's just that is just bonkers.
These last 2 have been exceptionally high scoring too, and
it's pretty crazy.
Fun to see.
We talk about young subs coming in.
Yeah,
we're just looking at our squad. We have 1 or 2 little senior players in each part of the field, but other than that, they're all like 20, 21, 22.
That was the comment I made when I saw Miram out there. I was like, oh, yeah, Miram, he's back. And then I said out loud, he doesn't know any of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe there was maybe one. Nagby, I think
I
is
don't know.
maybe what I said.
That's-
I don't
Morris
even
would
know.
have been in what, like the
Third
Would've been in
grade.
middle
Yeah.
school.
side of it?
I don't know,
Yeah.
Evan Bush was there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. but-
maybe. That's what
First
Ashley
time.
said. She's like, oh, I remember Justin. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I liked him. And I was like, yeah. Remember when he
Yeah.
winked
must
at
have- he must
Trey's
have
wife?
winked at her.
He's awesome. We love him.
Winky
Love it.
McMeerum.
Yeah.
Anybody else notice his wonderful? I don't want to hate on the guy too bad. I'm not even going to
All right. Well, okay. So we
We love you,
I don't
Jay.
want to take away anyone's job either. So Haas, please talk us through the last goal, and then we can move on.
I mean, I think we covered it pretty good.
Oh, you just don't want to do it anymore? That's fine.
Jason Russell Rowe.
Find someone to do it.
Good
He
night, everybody.
hustles. He takes the ball. He plays Arfston, who's driving into the box. Arfston has like a touch. He works it around the guy. His touch is a little too big, and that's where Yeboah comes screaming in to tap it in.
All right. Well
Yeah.
done. Thank you. You do a great
we got
job.
the knee slide and everything. Yeah.
Don't
Haas.
defer.
Yeah.
You do good work.
You know what? I think Haas was the spectator of the match day.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Probably on the
was.
bench.
He was.
I did watch it twice.
Yeah.
He was.
How do we
Nice.
think Zawadzki did? Because I kept getting him confused, I feel like, with Aiden. And
He played the ball that started the almost Farsi goal.
yeah, and I think he stutter stepped because the guy was quicker than him, but then he picked back up the speed right before that and was able to kind of dust him a little bit. I thought that was impressive.
I mean, I'll leave it at this and just say, like, there didn't seem to be much of a drop off.
No.
You didn't notice a substantial difference in the play. But I also didn't notice him a lot. But that's not a bad thing. He came in, he did what he needed to do, and he didn't let the level of play drop. That's the important thing. Come in, get 20 minutes under your belt, and play hard.
Yeah, so
And-
that
and one,
go ahead.
yeah, and one last observation I had about this game we talked about offensively was we scored 4 goals. And you're looking at stats, expected goals were about 4 goals.
Yeah, that's
So
what
this was-
yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that right after the game and I was like, you know what? It's not like we got more than we
Yeah.
deserved, so to speak. We could have had a couple more, but in all even, that was probably the right score. They could have had maybe one, but
But he had good saves. I mean, he had another save.
Yeah.
Schulte had another save in 60 where he stayed big. Like he looked offside, but I don't think he actually was. And it was basically like one-on-one, and he just like stood straight up and made himself big, and it went off his chest and way out of bounds. And I was like,
yeah,
cool. He had
It's
like
a
a
good one.
quick reaction save, and he had like a stay big save. I mean, he did great.
But yeah, we dominated the stat sheet.
Yeah.
I mean,
but sometimes that happens.
499 passes to 317.
almost
282 of those were in the opposition's half. It felt like we dominated the game. You know, sometimes there's the games where it doesn't feel that way, and it was enjoyable. It's a very fun game to
Yeah.
watch.
back to back weeks.
Yeah, I know.
10 goals in 2
I
games
can't
is
wait to hear what our
bananas.
predictions are for next week. But on that note, let's wrap up our review here. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go through a couple crew topics. We'll look forward to DC, and then put it on the line and do our predictions. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Before we get into DC, I know we had a few topics to go through. Number one, I see a quote from Bailey Johnson from the Dispatch. She had something in the, what did she say? Will not say who it was, but she will let slip that while they waited to talk to Aiden Morris in the locker room last night, game night, one of his teammates was yelling, "The price is going up! The price is going up!"
Did they yell it like that?
I think no. I mean, that's how it was written in the quote. So I was just reading it how it's written. But
It sounds like Big Bird.
what do you? Yeah, I know, right? It's just so weird.
Just like him. Yep.
That was just part of the stage direction. But what do you guys think about this? I mean, I feel like every time Aiden Morris scores a goal, we talk about him getting shipped off. So, what's the deal?
Well, he's only scored twice now
That's not true.
over 2 games. Three
yeah.
times over 2 games.
Yep.
Yes.
Price.
So
So
3 times.
so
right.
every time he scores, we talk about
So a
this.
fiscal 2 goals in the games.
Yeah, I mean, so what? Yeah, so you're proving my point. I mean, is this a story? Like, is he going away? Does he not like the crew? What's going on? He said one time that he wanted to go to Europe, and now this is like now we're talking about it. Like, what's the deal?
I think it's what we want to hear from every hot MLS player. I mean, anybody that's catching fire, scoring goals, and is young, hot. You want to hear that talk. You want to hear, oh, he's linked with so and so and so and so. As much as you don't want to lose him from your team, if it increases the value of the player and you're going to get him on loan or by selling him off, that has a positive impact for your club. So
Especially a homegrown, somebody that you have the rights to and all that stuff. Like,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what you want from, what you're trying to produce in the club. Yeah.
I mean, we want to be able to compete with the Dallases and even Chicago has sold 2 players recently for a lot of money,
which is crazy.
So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Aiden score some goals, lead us through a good season, and then possibly go someplace next year. It'd be good for his career. It'd be good for the crew.
Potentially good for the U.S.
Correct. Yeah, and if he can do something this year with this team, good for him. I mean, it's wonderful. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. The main question is who was saying it. There was a lot of speculation on like who was actually saying that. I don't know why, but
Mort said it was Quentin, right?
people were saying it was probably Morera. I'm trying to think who would be yelling that.
Miriam.
Nancy.
It was Nazi. It was Bez.
Nancy.
Bez was like,
Nancy.
the price is going up.
Nancy. I don't know. Okay. Can we get a clarification on that? What
Is it Nancy?
Nancy.
Is it Nancy?
is it? Nancy? Okay.
Okay.
Nancy.
So
I always
it's
feel like I'm
custodian and
saying it
Nancy. Okay.
And it's Wilfried, correct?
Will Fried.
This is great. This is great during the break fodder.
Sorry.
But hey, he's a 21-year-old. He's a 21-year-old player that broke through at a young age. It would probably been further along if he didn't have the injury that he had.
For sure.
And he has an international game for United States, which is a mid-major nation in the world right now. I know it was for the B team, but they're being exported over. They're American players in every league in Europe pretty much now. So that's where you want to go if you want to be the best, and that proves his ambition, and that's what we want.
Yeah, and I think it would be wise if I was a team overseas and looking at him, I'd want him to play almost a full season after getting injured to make sure everything's cool. And yeah, I mean, not everybody can be Norway, but I mean, it's great that he got to play for the United States national team. Morton.
I would never call Norway a mid-major in soccer, by the way.
I think that was
Holland
the
says
joke.
hi.
That was indeed the joke.
I just get concerned about minutes. If he's going to
Just
go
like
somewhere, I want to see him to continue to get regular minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the championship is what they were talking about. And I feel like his profile fits a championship like a higher up championship team pretty well.
Okay. All right. So you guys mentioned the U.S. games. Forgive me. I have not felt compelled to watch those games because the stakes are just so low. But
It's CONCACAF Nations League.
But we did play, right? So Ben, you
We
want
did
to?
play. Yep.
I hesitate to say this, but
I'll
Ben?
talk about every player.
do you want?
Is that what you want?
So
Do you want to
I'll
touch
give
on
you-
the
let's,
I'll give
let's
you-
do this real quick.
I'll give you. You could talk about 3 players, and you're limited to 90 seconds. Go.
Here,
All right,
Ben,
yeah.
I'll
Let
help
Tracy.
you out. Hold on, Ben. Yeah, I'll help you out. First game we played Grenada, and in Grenada, and we scored was 7-1. US
Yes.
won.
Yes.
Second
I
game we
did see
played El
that.
Salvador, and it was 1-0
At home.
at home. Ben, go ahead and talk about the teams. 90 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
watching.
I don't
the
have a
clock.
whole lot really to say about that stuff. I mean, it was.
All right, thank you.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, it'll be exciting because we actually are playing now Mexico to see who goes into the final, and then the final is the winner of Canada versus Panama, which it probably will be Canada. So playing Mexico in in a really good game, and then having to play Canada will be a lot of fun to watch. It won't be Grenada away or El Salvador at home. So I'm looking forward to that, if nothing else. And I really, really, really want Balogun to come to the
That'll
U.S.
be a big thing. Yeah.
But we're also thinking about doing a whole spin-off 15-minute podcast or whatever about some of this stuff. So we won't take up too much time. Let's keep it crew. Let's keep
your
it crew.
ears open.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
and the only other U.S. note I have here is the jersey drop today. Did anyone have something positive to say about it?
Did you say drop?
Yeah.
Because it had drops on it.
Okay.
Oh, I
One
like
spatter.
that one.
You do like that one? I thought you texted and you
I
said it.
love that one.
Okay, because I
no, I
do
love that
think
one.
it's all right.
I do
like
not
that.
like the blue one. The blue
Yeah, the
one.
blue one
It's
was
FC
real bad.
Cincinnati. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
It's better than the
Yeah.
white one.
No.
No.
Yes, the white
no.
one was trash.
All right,
No, it's
so
not.
okay, so Haas, you're gonna have to post
Good
post the
Lord.
pictures of these things so that
It still has the same stupid collar.
Wait,
thing.
wait,
yeah,
wait,
the
wait,
color
wait.
thing is
Collar.
weird.
Wait,
Yeah,
the U.S. white one, the U.S. Men's National World Cup, or
That-
the women's?
Correct.
The
World
women's.
Cup.
Oh no, I'm talking about the women's World Cup one, with the splatter on it.
No,
It-
I'm saying the blue one for the men is better than the white one they wore during the World Cup.
I'm not,
And you're
I'm not
still wrong,
following
but-
this.
The women's white jersey, beautiful, beautiful. Gold in the middle, 4 stars, 4 gold stars.
It's the,
gold Nike.
yeah. It
And can I get that in a men's version?
That's
Okay.
I'll wear it in a women's. I don't care.
Like, because you cut in the
I got the
cut in
fleshy
middle?
upper. I can
Oops.
do it all
The
day.
hip, for the hip.
I
cut,
wear women's
the
shirts
hip
all
cut
day.
One? Okay,
Just like this. Yep.
big chested. I got.
I'll get an XXL like a dress.
But it's
Yeah.
but it is the same issue when I tried to do our logo in the red and blue for the
Yeah.
during the World Cup, and it's like, oh, those are FC Cincinnati colors, and I'm like, yeah. The problem is if
Yeah.
you use a deeper red, it looks like FC Cincinnati. It looks like almost orange,
Crap.
so it looks like.
It looks like crap.
So when I saw the
crap.
jerseys, I was like, oh, cool, they all play for Cincinnati now. That's great. So not great.
okay. I saw that Crew 2 has the week off. Is that right?
Yeah, no
Correct.
Bird. We miss you, Bird.
But Crew Academy is doing well.
Oh
You guys
yeah.
want to talk about
Oh,
that?
yeah. They actually talked about it in the broadcast. Lloyd Sam brought it up. Who actually,
Briefly, yeah.
shout out to that guy. He is a great commentator. I love his commentating. But the Academy is doing very, very well. Today, they beat Man United's Academy 1-0 on an
The
Olympico.
U17s did.
Like, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at that, so I'm able to follow a lot of this stuff just on the what is it, Crew Academy 96 Instagram, and then Haas, you said you're able to watch the games.
They're all. You can access all of Generation Adidas Cup on the Apple app.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So like the goal to beat Man United was an Olympico, which is a goal scored from a corner kick that just goes in, like is able to curve around and go in. So
It's like at the end of the game too.
And the guy holding the camera was right there, and the I can't remember the guy who scored, but he turned around and like just was smiling and did like a pose, and it was like the most baller thing.
But yeah, the U17s went 3-0 in their group stage, and the U15s went 1-0-2 and are in first place in their group.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, second place in their group.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Future is bright.
let's-
This is great. Yeah, definitely follow. Like if you're listening to this, like follow those the Columbus Academy Instagram and stuff like that. They post the scores and they post like highlights and stuff. It's awesome.
You mean the Crew Academy?
Correct. What did I say?
Columbus Academy. But that's okay. We knew what you meant. And, like this just talking about this kind of reminds me of like the importance of the Save the Crew movement and everything else, right? I mean, like when we were watching all of that unfold, the collateral damage that you heard a lot of talk about was like, what happens to all the infrastructure when this team goes away, right?
Yeah, man.
And we've talked about it. I've heard Trey talk about it in the last 2 weeks. Is how do we focus on development? And I don't know. There's just such a value added to the community with these programs, having this team here, and it's great to see them doing well. So, shout out to Youth Soccer Night, and I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by more Trey.
2 shots of vodka.
All right.
Yeah, parents are gone, so party at Morton's house. Let's dig into DC.
Yeah, let's
Dig
do
into
it.
DC.
So we wanted to talk to James from DC? What was his?
DC UK.
United Kingdom.
DC.
United
UK.
Kingdom,
Mhm.
right? He's under the weather, so he wasn't able to join us. We pulled up DC's record, which is
Not good.
LOL.
broken. Yeah, broken record. It was they keep losing. They tied Chicago last weekend. They lost to New England before that. They lost to New York City before that. And they drew to Orlando City before that. They're not doing well.
And they should have lost last week to Chicago. Kai Kamara came in and had a wide open goal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. It wasn't like, egg on your face, Kai Kamara, but I mean, he blew like a goal right at the very end of the game.
There was a lot of chances in that game. They had a pretty decent chance as well, but there were few and far in between when you watch the highlights of that one.
So
You talk about poor attendance. Take a look at those highlights.
Oh, Soldier. Yeah,
Yeah.
Soldier
Granted,
Field.
it's a
there
giant
is-
stadium.
yeah,
It's really not all that big either, though.
No,
what is it?
I don't know.
50-some thousand?
Hawes and I have been to a couple games there,
Past 2 years,
and it's bad. I mean, we trash talk the New York City Yankee Stadium thing, and like, I don't know what the capacity is at Yankee Stadium, but at least it's small, right? So like you could fill it up. The problem with the Soldier Field is that it's massive. I mean, I don't know what the seating is. Let me guess and say it's like 60,000. It's
I'd guess 80.
It's
yeah.
bad. It's so bad. I mean, like when we go, we've got our little section roped off or whatever, and there's usually 100,
63,000.
Yeah, okay, thank you. 150 Crew fans maybe, but like, my gosh, that stadium's so big that it doesn't even matter. They could have 20,000 Chicago fans. It still looks like it's empty.
But they don't.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, maybe.
that's
Well,
another thing.
it's interesting. You see it's a completely different like camera angle too when you're looking at the highlights compared to like obviously I watch all the Crew stuff and just highlights of other things for the most part, but the football stadium aspect puts the camera on a different.
Yeah.
They have had 3 games in the 2023 season, and average spectators 2,605. It says
No way. No,
That's what it says here,
2,000.
But I Google it.
No,
In transfer market.
no.
That's what it says.
I don't.
One of
believe
those
it. Fake
games
news.
was
It's gotta be
extremely
fake news.
cold.
that what is that?
All right.
But
But we're not talking about Chicago. We're talking about DC.
Sorry, my bad.
And so they're not doing well.
But they have a nice stadium.
Last game we beat them 2-0. What is the deal with what are we? How many games have we played this year? 9, 8,
6.
6.
Yeah.
Why are we playing them again?
Yeah, it's a big question, and the other thing here is it's not like a random team either. This is one of the
one of our
early
rivals.
original, yeah,
Yeah.
like an early
One of the OGs.
early rivals, right? So this is the game that have somewhat of a history because we played so many times over the years. So it's kind of funny that you put them 2 games within 4 games in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange to me. I don't understand the logic of that.
It made me question if we were playing them a third time, like we
Right.
used to with Toronto back in the day with
Yeah.
the Trillium Cup when the league was a little smaller. But this is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll take it because they're in such a bad run of form, and I'll take any team in a bad run of form away. So,
Pedro Santos is no longer starting. I don't even know if he came on in their match against Chicago.
He's been injured.
Oh, I didn't realize
didn't
that.
he just have
Yeah.
knee surgery? I just saw because I still follow him on Instagram and stuff like that.
Knee
and I was
or
like,
ankle, one of the two. He's been rehabbing.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't feel like we need to do a big deep dive on DC. We just got done doing that. So you guys ready to run through the predictions? We can do a recap from last week. Like I have been mentioning, I do have some comments on our predictions from last week. Are we ready to get into that?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So just what I want to say is that every single person on here was talking trash about me subconsciously
No,
kind of wishing for a goal at the end of that last DC game. You are all telling me, I think Haas said, if you go back and listen to the tape, and it's readily available, Haas said, you were rooting for DC. And I tried to explain to you the headspace that I was in. And I just said, it was after the 90th minute. And I was tensing up a little bit, and I was just kind of hoping that they would score so that I could, so that one of us could get a correct result.
Yeah, one of us.
Now, it seems as though everyone has forgotten that, because all that I've been hearing about all week is how you guys were hoping for
a crew goal.
RSL.
Yeah, a crew goal.
No.
Shame on
No,
us.
didn't somebody
Shame.
say 3-1? Didn't somebody say 3-1?
I did.
Haas did.
Oh,
yeah, Haas was
okay,
the one
Haas,
who was
okay.
saying.
Yeah.
Haas of all of us was the
Haas.
one saying.
Hey, I didn't say it to anybody. I kept
No.
it internalized.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I may have
You've
to.
got a
I
lot
may have
internalized. Though.
I may have to tweet a screenshot of you. I think you said you were hoping for a goal. Didn't he say that?
He called me.
I was hoping for a 4th crew
Okay.
goal.
Well,
Yeah.
I understood that as you were hoping for.
I would have taken.
Okay, so you just said it. So I don't need to do anything because you just
I would've
admitted
taken
it.
it.
Yeah. All right.
So I have my father and my father-in-law as a witness that our 4th goal, I got out of the couch and did fist pump.
Because
And it was the one I was the happiest
all right.
of all the goals
All right.
in that
Okay,
game.
so for those who don't memorize all of our predictions, me included.
we don't.
Yeah, exactly. Mort, go ahead and run through what the predictions were last week. What I can tell you is that no one was right, and the reason why I can tell you that is because no one has ever been right.
Ever.
And so, yeah, go ahead and run through those, and then give us the running total of where we stand. I think we all just got a point because we all guessed to win, but I'll let you. I don't want to take away your steam there, and then we'll put our predictions out for this week's DC game, and hope that someone someday can get one of these right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we extremely reactive to the previous game.
Yes.
And
yes.
since we went through, went literally blew up Atlanta and that Star Wars night.
Yes.
We were very offensive. And I think overall our picks as a group was 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Haas with 3-1. That's why he had a devil on the shoulder at the end of the game. Trey was like hanging on under 3-0 at the very end, really hoping. Ben was like me. We were both at halftime. We wanted to just pack it in, park the bus, and let's go home, make it boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mars, you had 3-0 as well.
After much deliberation inside my mind,
I cut probably 7 minutes of just like, who said that? Who said that? They say it's turbo time and we're turbo time.
Yeah. It took me a while to get there, but yeah, go ahead.
So I would point out one thing is it's the first time we all have gotten the score. I mean, the result.
Right.
Correct.
It was a W because always somebody has a tie in one game. We actually had one. I actually think we got to lose to Atlanta after much deliberation as well.
Yes.
But that means that everybody gets a point, and Ben is still in the lead.
So Ben has 3, and the rest of us have 2.
And the rest of us have 2.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we have predicted 16 points for us.
Okay. So just a reminder, because it's important to go through this. If we're predicting matches every week. For a correct result, we get 1 point. For a correct score, we get 2 additional points. And the loser, so we all win, right? Except for one. And the loser
So not everybody wins.
Well, everybody except for one person wins. But the loser is going to be gifted the Atlanta clown pants patchwork jersey. I'm sorry, Austin. Sorry.
Austin.
Yes, we're gonna have a dunk tank.
No, we're not gonna have a dunk tank, but it's gonna be a pre-court.
We're gonna have a
pre-court Austin jersey, and it will be prominently displayed in their background for some period of time, and maybe we'll have them wear it to opening day next year or something like this. But
they're going to wear it in a dunk tank, and then everyone gets to in the first game of next season, or it's like a pie in the face.
Ben, I looked up dunk tank rentals.
They can't be that bad.
First game of next season in February.
They have a budget for in schools these days. Then we have to be able to.
For the price of the Austin jersey, it's going to be like $200.
Okay. But next episode, we'll have a Kickstarter link to pay for the dunk tank. But for now, just so you know, the stakes are high. I mean,
I think they're too high.
No, you know what?
I would be scared to win.
I bet we can set this up. The pregame activity is in the courtyard of the stadium there, where there's these lines to stand in line to kick the ball and all that. Yeah, we should have a dunk tank.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And it's filled with queso.
I can't afford. Yes, right. Yes. Queso dunk tank.
But here's another thing.
Yes.
And I want to give a shout out to Tom that wrote us and talked about
Rob Thomas.
Way of
yes,
scoring
Rob
this.
Thomas. Yes,
Rob Thomas,
frequent listener.
Smooth,
yes, hey Rob.
Hey Rob. And I want to say we are this early in the season, and we have to change this quickly. But we are looking at some alternative ways of scoring this, just to differentiate.
He's too smart.
A little bit.
No,
because we are
can't
not
change our
good
scoring.
enough.
We're not going to change the scoring.
Nope.
It would
not.
No, we can't change
My
it.
brain changes the way you bid significantly.
Sorry, Tom. Everybody thinks your idea.
No.
It's a
It's
good
a great
idea.
idea.
I'm
We're
too
just
scared
too
to change
good.
it.
It's too
Like
good.
it's
too good. Just,
nothing Rob Tom does is bad.
I know.
That's one thing I've learned.
Well, yeah. So we're not going to change the scoring, but just so the listeners know, we're getting a lot of feedback. One listener in particular, Rob Thomas, gave us a great idea for how to better score our game here, but it's just not going to happen. And we're maybe next year.
Old school.
I think it's because we're so bad at it. He's like, you guys are so bad at it.
Right.
Like, change something, and we're like,
Punishment is
we're
too
not
much.
going to change it.
Right.
We'll eventually get one right.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the week. A great segue into our predictions for the game against DC. Now, because he was caught off guard a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever it wasn't last week because he was maybe still alive in Hocking Hills, and it wasn't
Barely.
the week before that because I was not alive. So you are always first, Ben.
Yeah, the rule of Hocking Hills is we don't talk about Hocking Hills.
We're playing DC. What's the score going to be?
I'm going to say it is 2-1 Crew. Benteke is going to score.
Okay.
Way to go out on a limb.
And,
What does that
and
mean?
He's going to go out on a limb. Trey's going to go out on a limb and wait for Mort to give me his score. Mort,
No, make
what is-
Trey's thing 10-0. Touchdown, extra point, field goal.
Mort, what's the score going to be?
So here's the thing.
What's the
I
thing?
was going to say 2-1 but I had the same score as you last week.
I
Man.
know.
We have to kind of spread our
What are you
Don't
going to
take my
say?
score.
2-2.
Wow.
2-2.
Get back. We're going to score
All right.
goals, but we're going to get
Different
back
result.
to earth a little bit.
How does that fence feel, Mort?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
a reminder,
I'm sure Joe had
comfortable.
something to say
DC
about that.
appear.
I the dunk tank sound kind of refreshing, I guess.
Not if
DC.
it's queso.
February dunk tank.
So,
Let's see.
queso tank.
Queso tank.
All right. DC has scored 4 goals in the last 5 games. So
Yeah, it's not
good
great.
luck.
Fire.
I
They're on
don't feel really
fire.
good. I don't feel good about this.
Speaking of
I will
fire, they
change it.
scored
Fine,
zero.
I'll change it. 2-0.
No,
You keep your
don't.
2-0
foot there,
Crew.
fence boy.
No,
It's
You
no,
already
made
it's
your
2-2.
decision.
You're locked
Oh,
in.
come on.
You're locked
Fine.
in. Sorry, it's official.
there was like 30 seconds
Yeah, it's
between.
official.
If you continue
2-2.
to talk about
All
it,
right.
I'm editing this
Trey,
too, so
Trey, you're out on a limb now. What's your prediction?
1-1.
1-1.
No. I'm just kidding. 4-1. Girl.
4-1.
4 to
Yeah, now we're
1.
talking. Yeah,
Yep.
a goal for each circle on the Audi logo. Okay, Haas. What about you?
isn't it 3?
I was going to stick with the 3-1.
3-1.
Okay.
Although I will qualify mine and probably say it probably should be a lot less than that because we haven't been hot away from home. But I think this team's riding the wave. So I'm going to stick with it.
And DC's terrible.
But yeah.
Snake.
Yeah. Is someone keeping track of this somewhere?
No.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We need to double check Mort's tracking of his own prediction.
I will say 3-0. Again.
Wow. Okay. Then we have everybody's score. Our average score of this game is 2-2.
No,
Really?
no, it's not.
How would it,
No,
check your
There's no
formula?
way.
because I like
She's just making it up.
Okay, we're the way team, aren't we?
I'm not a
There we go.
smart man.
That explains it. 3-1 Crew is the
Yeah,
average
that
score of
sounds
this game.
closer.
So
to-
Haas had this game at 3-1 Crew. Trey wanted us to win 10-1, but he settled on 4-1. Ben has a 2-1 win. I sit on the fence at 2-2, and Mars just is going to keep his score every week or something
yes.
and keep it at 3-0.
Yes.
Yeah, cruise
We're
control,
going,
baby.
Here's the good news, guys. We're gonna win the game, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So we can keep doing this this exercise because we said we were going to, and it'll be funny to see the loser wear an Austin jersey, which is ugly and
Queso dunk take.
yeah, otherwise irredeemable. But we'll keep it going, and maybe we'll somebody will hit gold here. Okay. Anything else before we sign off?
I think Trey,
What about-
you reached
yeah,
out
viewing?
to like watch parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we definitely want to make sure we are letting everybody know about some of the different options to watch away games. As always that we've talked about, Land Grant is definitely doing one, so make sure to get there. Rude Dog is not hosting Black Flag Social. Black Flag Social is not doing one this week due to Easter and some other conflicting big things going on. I think also Fidel is a good place to watch it, and Endeavor Brewing can be a good place. But Land Grant, we know for sure, is a fun place to go catch a game.
What's the other one who has the new beer this year? The Work with the C. Fifth Avenue and Summit. Wolf's Ridge has a new beer, but I don't know if they show games.
Yeah.
It's Zaftig.
Zaftig.
Yeah, okay.
They show games.
Yeah. Land Grant's atmosphere and like the big screen and stuff like that, it's kind of a slam dunk. I don't think anybody can hold a candle to
Especially
that.
if the weather's nice.
Yeah.
That patio's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and I'm currently drinking the massive juicy pale ale, and I love it. I think it's actually really good. I said it off air, and I'll say it on air.
Okay, well, we'll be watching, and hopefully we see some more goals. So, go Crew.
Go
Crew!
Crow Goo!
Oh, we're gonna stay out too late, laugh till we faint. Tomorrow morning, I know that I'm gonna be in pain. We'll stay out all night, drink till sunrise, hang out the bars.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off-season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew! All right.
Write it down.
Well, let's get another win this weekend, guys. We got great momentum and a lot of goals. So hopefully we have some more, and we'll I feel like just turning off now.
And we'll just
go edit this out.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, let's get a lot more goals and get a lot more crew. Kill me.
Go Crew! Go Crew!
Go.